in what will most likely go down as the most important story of my lifetime in professional wrestling, Vince McMahon has resigned from WWE. This is made official tonight, breaking within the last hour or less. Let's hop on over to Twitter. I first saw this. I don't know who broke the news, but I did first see this over here from Brandon Thurston at WrestleNomics, who is a very credible journalist, unlike some of the others I have been covering lately. Can confirm Vince McMahon has resigned from his role as executive chairman, according to an all-staff email from WWE President Nick Khan, of which Nick Khan wrote, "I wanted to inform you that Vince McMahon has tendered his resignation from his positions as TKO executive chairman and on the TKO board of directors. He will no longer have a role with TKO Group Holdings or WWE." Thurston wrote, "Can confirm Vince McMahon has resigned from his role as executive chairman, according to an all-staff email from WWE President Nick Khan." And in said email, Khan wrote, "I wanted to inform you that Vince McMahon has tendered his resignation from his positions as TKO executive chairman and on the TKO board of directors. He will no longer have a role with TKO Group Holdings or WWE, period." And then this was confirmed by several other credible wrestling news journalists. So this is official, and in fact, Vince McMahon has released a statement to go along with that. Let's take a look at this. "I stand by my prior statement that Miss Grant's lawsuit is replete with lies, obscene, made-up instances that never occurred, and is a vindictive distortion of the truth." McMahon said this evening of the scorching lawsuit against him filed earlier this week, "I intend to vigorously defend myself against these baseless accusations and look forward to clearing up my name. However, out of respect for the WWE Universe, the extraordinary TKO business and its board members and shareholders, partners and constituents, and all of the employees and superstars who helped make WWE into the global leader it is today, I have decided to resign from my executive chairmanship and the TKO board of directors effective immediately," the WWE co-founder added. Holy shit, guys. So this one's for real. This one, Vince isn't going to come back after he's able to, after the smoke goes away a little bit. This one will be the end, and we can chalk this one up to one that is checked off my list of 10 predictions for 2024. And we're not even out of January. I had predicted that Vince will be gone completely from the company altogether, and apparently he is. I was going to do a video today kind of giving my take on the allegations and stuff, so maybe we'll get into some of that here. I am also going to be releasing a video where we actually just read through that entire court document, page by bloody page. Everybody keeps referencing it, and there's little lines and zingers and stuff that are coming out of there. I'm just going to read the bitch, and that'll probably be boring for most of you, but for those that have that sort of pain tolerance or fucking sadistic kink, then you will enjoy that. But Vince McMahon, this is huge. This is, like I said, this will be the biggest story in wrestling of my lifetime, probably up there with the sale of WWE, hand in hand. It's a long time coming. Vince probably should have never been on the board to begin with. The whole reason I predicted that he would be gone is that Vince, I feel like that was kind of the setup from beginning. I think, the fact that Vince's stocks were liquid and the fact that this was all going on at the time that the merger happened. They already knew about this. They didn't buy into WWE and then find out what was going on. They knew what was going on. And trust me, they were probably briefed on the stuff that hasn't been public yet. Anything that the board knew at that time, anything that was known at all would have come out in the, review and investigation for the merger before, Endeavor ended up securing WWE. And I think that was part of the plan. Ari Emanuel was always put over Vince and was like, I insisted that he stick around, I wouldn't have had it any other way. It's full of shit. I think Vince was set up to be the figurehead because you can't just buy. It would look bad for the stock, first of all. You buy TKO, or TKO buys WWE, Endeavor buys WWE, and the first thing they do is get rid of Vince. That's going to scare a lot of people. So you have to wean him out, especially knowing that there's scandals out there and more scandals probably to come, and just sort of ease him out of his position. That's why his stock was liquid, so that he could just kind of cash out. It could be just because he's an old man and going to die soon, but probably not because he's Vince, right? So the reason why he can cash out all of his stock right now is because he's probably not going to stick around in the company very long. They kept him on as a figurehead. They kicked him out of creative. He literally just sat at the head of the table, so to speak, of the board of directors. We saw this coming first with the allegations coming out now, specifically the more allegations that have come out since last year. But even with The Rock taking his position, and then the other guy, Brad something or other, say well, I don't know, it doesn't matter. It kind of makes you wonder, was there going to be a spot that opened up on the board? That was 13 board members total. Is that, I don't know. So maybe there's going to be some more moving and shaking going on there. This is interesting. This is huge. Everything's in place for Vince to exit safely. Everything's in good hands now. Even the stock and even the credibility of, nobody's going to freak out that Vince is gone now. It's not going to tank the stock now. It'll probably bump the stock. I think it did last time that Vince was supposed to go out, right? Like, everybody's comfortable with Triple H and creative now, and people are starting to see more of Ari Emanuel out there in public. It is still weird seeing someone else out there representing WWE as its boss man, basically. But that's what Ari Emanuel's been out there doing, and he's been doing a good job at it. He's getting his face out there. Obviously, The Rock probably brought on to be the figurehead for WWE, especially now if they knew Vince was going to be on his way out. Triple H isn't on that board. Who can better represent the WWE in the public eye than The Rock? So that was a brilliant move, especially with Vince being on his way out the door. And, it's good that Vince... Hold on, I got a cat hair here, and it's bugging the fuck out of me. You can't even see it on camera, but it's bugging the fuck out of me. So anyway, it's better that Vince resigned than Vince being removed from the board, having it go to a vote, because that was coming. That was, TKO had released that statement and, said that they take it very seriously and blah, 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 blah. The writing was on the wall. Vince was on his way out the door. As far as all of those allegations, there's some very serious shit being levied at Vince out there. Some interesting things too. Cornette's kind of catching a little bit of heat for his podcast all of a sudden because some of the fun that he had with it. Check out this clip.
Again, if it was something that happened and this woman said, I am incensed that you have done this and I'm going to complain to someone, or even if it was over some period of time where there was attempts made at activity like this and it was constantly turned down, and then she was either attacked or she was fired unjustly or what, this is going on for a while, and she appeared to be more than amenable to doing a lot of it. So, but
you can't put the blame on her if any of the really bad shit.
I'm putting the blame on both of them. I'm saying this is because then Vince has a chance to, okay, what do you want to make you feel good and not talk about this anymore. $3 million. Okay, it's $3 million fucking dollars. They just got $5 billion from Netflix. Any stiff, sir? After, my God.
That's such a weird move. Why would you? I mean, again, he did it at the promoters and he got away with it because it was like, what are you going to do? I already won. Do you think that's what it was?
And if it had been a la carte with this lady, do you know what the price of a good three-way head shitting is in fucking Connecticut these days? At $3 million, he probably was still coming out ahead.
But it's not laughing at the victim. It's laughing at the preposterousness of fucking Vince McMahon taking a shit on someone's face. You know what I mean? Like, just, like we know he's got the, we know he's got that kind of, see what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with her. It's just, picture that in your mind. And if you have any kind of sense of humor, no matter how depraved it is, it's Vince shitting on someone. She took a paycheck, by the way, too. So let's not forget that. And a lot of these, there's a lot of allegations. And there appears to be plenty here to really throw the book at Vince if somebody wanted to. I don't know what'll come out of this. Another settlement that Vince can weasel his way out of. Or does he do some kind of jail time over this? I think this is a lawsuit, right? Because he didn't pay up on his end of the settlement, the non-disclosure. You know, he paid like I heard it was Brian Last on the podcast with Cornette. It said he pulled the old Calgary Stampede, right, where he's like, promise you, you know, get you to sell him the brand, and then I'll pay you this, and then just not pay him, stiff him, you know, get her to shut up, sign the papers, and then just not pay her. Well, that came back to bite him in the ass. And look, some of this is preposterous, like naming dildos after professional wrestlers, like, and who are they? That would have been, I would have loved for that to have, maybe when this goes to court, somebody could cross-examine the witness and ask her, ma'am, what names did Vince actually give the dildos? Could you describe the look of that dildo? Because it would be funny if, like, the Bobby Lashley dildo was the big black dildo, and, like, he had a little tiny one, and he called it the Spike Dudley or something. You know, look, hey, it's preposterous. It's laughable on its face. But there are serious enough allegations that this is absolutely the end of the line for Vince McMahon as we know it. He's never going to come back in any way, shape, or form. I don't expect to ever see him be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I see that being bandied about right now. Vince McMahon, will he ever go to the Hall of Fame? No. He's probably blacklisted from the industry at this point, which is, think about the word that I just said right there. Vince McMahon is probably blacklisted from ever participating in the wrestling business again. There's a soundbite for you, right? Vince McMahon, this guy created wrestling. He created this business. It's bad. It's a real bad situation for him. I don't think he's going to get, he's not facing like arrest charges for this. But he is facing a mighty lawsuit. Like I said, I will dive into those papers. Because, look, you know, it is funny also to hear in passing that Vince shitted on a girl. But also you don't know the context necessarily. So that needs to be taken into consideration as well. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read through the entire paperwork and hear the exact blow for blow, play by play. Because there's a lot of shit in there. And like Vince, we all know Vince is crazy. We all know Vince is depraved, sadistic, evil, probably to a certain extent, greedy, sexist, perverted. You know, like Cornette said on his show too, he's never seen Vince really act like that and spent a lot of time around him. But we've also seen the Vince on TV. And yes, that's a character, but like when you make Trish crawl around on like a dog and you got girls backstage like pretending to hook up with you or whatever, your pants are down, like, you know, there's something sick going on inside of there. So certainly, like, I don't know about the shitting and the dildos. I haven't read the paperwork yet. I was hoping to before I did my Vince story, honestly, so I didn't have to go, I don't know exactly, but we'll cover that tomorrow. I'll record that when I got more time to do so. But this is breaking news, right? So no time to read 65-page document to fucking before you. There's a lot. Let's say there's a lot of allegations out there. We'll see what comes of it. My guess is not a lot. What'll come with it is the court. Vince is just going to pay another. He'll settle perhaps and have to pay it all out at once because we're not going to fool me once. We're not gonna play that trick again. Obviously, this chick is about the money, not justice. Let's be real here. We want to always respect the victim and their privacy and understand that what they went through sucks and was traumatic and horrific and evil and sick and all of those things. But at the same time, this woman also said, yeah, you know what? All of that, I'll take $3 million for that and call it good. And I'll shut my mouth and go about my merry way, you know? So it was transactional at the very least. But we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. Obviously, everybody's just speculating right now. Who's to say who did what? Vince is a crazy, weird fucker. But who is this chick? Where does she come from? What is her angle in all of this other than clearly money? So it's a two-way street here, so everybody should acknowledge that too. So I think everybody in today's culture has a tendency to side with the victim, and that's, you don't never want to discredit the victim, discount the victim, or deny any of their, or, you know what I mean? You don't want to belittle it or make light of any allegations. You want to investigate them to the fullest, take them seriously. Everything that's happened so far with Vince having to resign, if he didn't resign, he should have been kicked off the board just on the allegations alone, because there's enough out there now where there's something going on with this weird fucker, and probably a lot going on with this weird fucker. Does it involve wrestlers named after King Kong Bundy? I don't know. I didn't read the documents. And then Brock Lesnar was, see, that's the other weird shit too. Like, let's go there a little bit. Fuck it, right? Like, there's in the paperwork allegedly too, like a former UFC champion he was trying to lure back. Well, that narrows it down, doesn't it? Whoever could that be? You know, only just one UFC champion in WWE ever. Certainly wasn't going to be Cain Velasquez, right? Was he trying to lure back Cain Velasquez? I doubt it. It was Brock. So Brock's sucked into this. Apparently Brock's not coming back for the Rumble as he was probably supposed to or going to be because of this, because he got basically roped into this, that he was offered up to her, or she was offered up to him to help get him back. Or, you know, there was PP videos, like, there's a lot of wild shit. Does that sound accurate, though? He's got Sable at home, by the way. You know, I'm gonna drink a Coors Light, not a Bud Light, a Coors Light, because they don't pay me. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna mount my hot wife. Maybe he's into the PP pictures, though, from the girl at the WWE offices. Also, you know, there's a lot of people talking about trying to condemn everybody, right? Everybody's all like, oh, I can't believe WWE knew about this the whole time and tried to hide it. They should all be fired. I guess maybe if somebody did know details specifically and they were actively trying to cover this up, yes. But there's people out there saying, Triple H, how dare he? Let's boycott the Royal Rumble. Slow your roll, guys. Jesus Christ. You think Triple H knows who Vince is fucking in his plane or in his office after hours, or who him and Laurinaitis are passing around in the locker room? He doesn't pay attention to that shit. Maybe he does. I mean, he is family, but, like, do you know who your fucking father-in-law is banging on the side? Maybe. I don't know what your family does for fun. Maybe you're banging your father-in-law on the side. He is the father-in-law, after all, right? He's not blood. It's not incest. Maybe he's got a nice ass and you want to get in that shit. Maybe he's hung like a horse. My God, he had the sweatpants on one day during Christmas. One thing led to another. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But Do you think Triple H just knows everything? Certainly with Stephanie resigning, that is sus, isn't it? Right? Like her, but I mean, she can have an idea. She can kind of know. And look, she's not Triple H either. She resigned. She distanced herself from it. This whole thing is a mess. This is just the start of it. Well, maybe not. This could just go away quickly as it's settled out of court. But, Vince's top lawyer has distanced himself from this. No longer working for the WWE either. And what is Vince going to do with his time? What would a Vince McMahon do with no job? What has he been doing anyway? The only thing I had heard was Dana White had specifically said that was his... I'm going to get the kitty up here so that he doesn't knock over my water over on the side trying to jump up. But we heard that he was, played a significant role in getting that Saudi deal. So he was, made that call with his connections with the Saudi prince and government and stuff over there to get UFC a Saudi deal. But other than that, I mean, his role has been significantly reduced in the WWE over the last year, couple years anyway. So at this point, it's time for him to ride off into the sunset and move on. He's so old and everything anyway. Like, he's older than his dad was when he took over. And, Vince was pushing him out at that time. The legendary dad, I love you, but I'm going to do this with or without you. I'd really like you to be there, but I'm going to do it with or without you. So that's, same thing here. It's time for you to be the old man that moves on now, Vince. Right off into the sunset. And hopefully, this girl just wants money. She doesn't want justice. Pay her out, make all this go away, quit bringing drama to the WWE and putting yourself in a shitty spotlight. And I think this will blow over for WWE and TKO. I don't think they're going to have any kind of issues with this going forward. There were the rumors of the Slim Jim sponsorship being pulled. I put a video up about that earlier if you want to check that out. I think this pretty well covers that, I would think. Anybody that was looking to try to hold TKO responsible or WWE or pull their sponsorships or any of that kind of cancellation type stuff, I think they've kind of weathered that storm now by just getting Vince out of the way. And look, Vince will probably cash out his most of his stock. I'm sure he'll keep some of it in there still. But he'll cash out most of his stock and he'll just go hang out with some chick and work on his quads and his traps. And my God. Vince is a character. I'm going to miss Vince's character. Not the man. We've all heard horrible shit about the man, Vince McMahon, all the way back to, just some of the ruthless stuff he did, even back in the 80s. And we've even heard rumors of him paying off, like, the people looking into Jimmy Snuka back in the day. And then there was, just several instances where people were getting kind of a little bit of payola under the table. Or to Vader, when he was slapped that TV host, right? He sat in jail for a little bit, and then that just kind of went away. Because Vince got a lot of money to make shit go away. He's always been very, very good at that. And we've heard that he's always heard that he's a bully. And we've always heard rumors of sexual harassment. And we've always seen hints of that on TV. And he's not a good human being at all. But I think, the character of Vince McMahon should be remembered maybe as something else, because I'm going to miss that guy. God damn it. You kiss my ass. Like, he's a character, right? Like, even the cartoon, remember the Camp WWE when the WWE Network first launched? They had Vince as, like, a cartoon character. Like, had he not been such a fuck up, he could have lived on forever in perpetuity as a character, as a personality. Especially with Netflix now looking to do, like, movies and shows and whatever based on WWE IP without actually it being wrestling related, like i.e. like a Kane and Undertaker backstory show, which would be phenomenal, by the way. Take my money all day long. But they got that Vince documentary coming out. That'll be interesting. Apparently, I just saw an article saying that they're not going to, just because they signed the deal with WWE doesn't mean they're going to go easy on them, that it will be a very scathing documentary. So, as it should be. All of this shit should be the end of Vince McMahon. But like I said, I'm going to miss that character. I'm going to miss some of the fun, quirky shit. Like, you're never going to hear stories again about people being pissed off about him being pissed off at people sneezing backstage, or fucking the peanuts, sticking the hand in the peanuts. My God, just eat them. Gross. I don't want any more. Steak, bloody fucking steak with ketchup on it. Working out at 3 a.m. My God, look at those quads. You know what I'm saying? Like, just goddamn character. Just goddamn character. And a character like that we will not likely see again anytime soon, both because those kind of personalities are pretty much gone now in this kind of environment, right? But also just, you know, everybody's kind of a corporate tool now. You know, Vince, Triple H, he's very buttoned up, you know, in the corporate world. He's very just proper and stuff. Rock, his presentation is very proper. Vince was Vince McMahon. But that's all I got to say about that. We'll go ahead and leave it there because I feel like I could be rambling on about this. But we've covered the bases here. You guys know all the news, so we don't need to get into that. The meat and potatoes of the accusations, but worth hopping in here and getting on this quick. Vince McMahon resigned. And look, I'm never going to do this justice. There's nothing I'm ever going to be able to say in this video to be like, to really hold that historical significance of a Vince McMahon retiring from wrestling, being gone from wrestling for good. But here we are. Here we sit in the year 2024. I mean, obviously it was going to happen someday, but, you know, it's happening now and happening under the worst circumstances possible, probably, too. You know, in disgrace, where he can't ride off into the sunset, a cowboy, a legend, an icon, a Hall of Famer, a character forever. He's got to be somebody that they kind of just slide under the couch, you know what I mean? Hide from the world. Oh yeah, he used to, but we're doing something new now. It's a whole new world. And when you see, like, especially with The Rock coming in to the board and Ari Emanuel out there doing all the announcements and Nick Khan, it really dawns on you that this is an entirely different company now. Sure, there's Triple H there, but like Nick Khan is your Vince McMahon essentially. Not the creative part. Triple H is that. But as far as like the leading of the business, the general direction, the steering of everything, and being the boss man ahead of it, it's Nick Khan with an iron fist. And then above him is Ari Emanuel, who just gets to sit back and be like, yeah, I own that, and I own the UFC. What? Yeah, we're doing great. Doesn't actually get involved with anything. Now The Rock's there. He's on the team. Fuck. Who's going to be the chairman? Who's going to be the new chairman of the board? We got a new chairman of the board. This can be appointed. Is it going to be a suit? Somebody on Ari's side? Somebody that we don't even know? Or are they going to just flip it to The Rock? Yo, Rock, you want to be the chairman? The chairman, god damn it. Could you imagine? I mean, already just, can you imagine, you know, Rock would be on the board someday. But can you imagine Rock being the chairman? It was just back in the Attitude Era, where he's doing the fucking Nation of the Domination. Like, that guy's going to be on the board of directors someday and the biggest movie star on the planet. Or even as far as that guy is going to be the fucking chairman of the board of this entire company. He's going to have Vince's job. Fuck, he could end up being the president someday, but somebody that won't be as Vince. We'll tie it up here. I've talked long enough. I want to know your thoughts down in the comments below. I think the general consensus is ding dong, the witch is dead, and we're all thankful for that. But I also want to know your more intricate takes. You know, what do you think about the dildo stuff? What do you think about the future of the company going forward, being in the hands of an Ari and a Nick Khan? A lot to talk about here and a lot of fallout. No more news, I don't think. I don't think anything will be as groundbreaking as this as far as like mega news, but there's going to be a lot of fallout that comes from this. A lot of aftershocks, a lot of moving pieces here. A lot to follow, a lot to get into. I'm excited for it, as always. Peace, love, and pizza. Hit that subscribe button down below if you liked what you liked. Like it if you liked what you liked. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. God damn it!
Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.